I used to be someone that prided themselves on tearing through books and seeing how many books could I read throughout a year and touting all of the amazing, wonderful, beautiful things that I'd learned from them. And in the last few years, I've actually changed my tune on this. And instead of reading quickly and reading, honestly, braggadociously, I've started reading slowly and intentionally. One of the books that I read last year that I read extremely slowly and piecemeal was Reboot by Jerry Colonna. I've talked about this book before. It has been wildly, profoundly altering in my mindset and in the way that I approach things with work and in my work with clients. There's this one concept that he talks about in the book called the ghosts in the machine that really resonated with me. I would call this, and in previous language, I would call this old ideas, right? What are the things that I believe, the things that I tell myself, the way that I interact with other people, the patterns in my life? What are the things that I do that served me at one point in time, but no longer serve me? That takes a level of attention to detail, attention to the way that I interact with other people, the way that my mind spins out in various ways that requires some slowing down, requires some self-reflection and some quietness. Same thing with what he's talking about with the ghosts in the machine. Are there things that I'm doing that are no longer moving me towards the goals that I have and are instead actually holding me back? So there's a couple questions that I pulled out of reading his work that I would encourage you to think about when it comes to some of the ghosts in your machine or some of the old ideas that you're still holding on to. One of them is, what are the beliefs, behaviors, or habits that I'm holding on to that might have helped me in the past, but no longer serve me? A lot of these questions are going to focus on it from a personal standpoint, but this is absolutely going to reflect in our business life as well. So take the time to ask that question. What are the beliefs, habits, or behaviors that I'm holding on to in my personal world that may also be showing up in my business world, and vice versa? And the second question is, how do these ghosts influence my leadership or the way that I show up for others? Am I doing things that are self-protective in my mind that aren't actually helping me? Am I doing that subconsciously? Are the things that I'm doing or saying or ways that I'm behaving that are actually sabotaging the growth or the ways that I want to show up as a leader in my organization? And then the last would be, what would it be like to acknowledge the ghosts and start to release them? What would that look like? So this is probably going to be some sort of intentional action that I'm going to take, something that's going to force me to slow down and reckon with some of these ghosts in my machine. This might be a journal that I'm working on a daily basis, a weekly basis. This might be a self-inventory that I'm taking periodically to get a feel for how I'm progressing and letting go of some of these old behaviors, old habits, old beliefs. This might also be surveying my team. It might be hiring a coach who for the first time is going to hold up a mirror and help me acknowledge the ways that I fall short. All of these are things that we need to do if we're going to ever look to upgrade my way of being, not just at work, but also at home, and knowing that how I show up here is how I show up there as well.